Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Show Me How It's Done. I'm your host, Lauren Urbonis with Lauren's Scraplot, and I am a Canadian demonstrator, so if you have any questions or you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. So what I want to show you today is a really fun way to make the most of your paper as you're crafting. So we're featuring a really adorable set. It's called This Birthday Piggy. And what we're going to do is we're going to make 3 cards using only 3 bases and 1 piece of extra paper. So before I show you how to do that and how to make these 3 adorable cards, let me just highlight this bundle for you. So this little stamp set might look familiar if you've seen our annual catalog. However, as of September 1st, we not only have the stamp set, we have a set of coordinating dies that go with this. So if you're not aware of the promotion, we have a great set of perfect partners that started September 1st and it will go to September 30th. And there are 6 stamp sets. You can kind of see them on this flyer. 6 stamp sets from our annual catalog that there have been dies released for. So these dies, just so you know, they are while supplies last. So even though the promotion says it's till September 30th, if they start running out, they'll be gone and they won't be coming back as far as we know. The stamp sets, of course, will stay until the end of the catalog period, which is next spring, but the dies themselves are only for now. So if you want them, make sure to grab them. You can purchase these at 10% off if you buy the stamp and the dies together. But of course, if you're somebody who's already purchased the stamp, you can still buy the dies separately. So I have these in the flyer, but then I'll just show you the stamps up close and personal. So Yeti to Party, that would be one that has dies now. Waterfall Canyon, Apple Harvest, Trimming the Tree, and there is one more. There's this Fresh Cut Flowers. Unfortunately, I don't have that one right now. It's on the way, but that one is also from the catalog. And then, of course, the Birthday Piggy. So if you want any of those, please make sure to either let myself or your demonstrator know, because we want to get to those before they run out. Okay, let's get crafting. So if you'd like to make the cards along with me today, what you're going to need is 3 full card bases. These are all basic white. You can either use the thick or the regular cardstock. Both are going to work just fine. So I have cut these at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've put a score mark down the middle at 4 1/4. So 3 of those, all identical. Then you're also going to need a piece of basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to need one more about the same size for cutting out your piggies and stamping those on. So if you want to go ahead and cut 2 of these while you're at it, go ahead. If you have scraps you want to use up for doing the pigs, that's okay too. So we're going to start with this little piece here, and hopefully you have some sort of circle die. I'm going to use the Stylish Shapes circle. So this is the largest size. It has the little stitching both on the inside and the outside of it. And then I'm going to need to grab my cut and emboss machine. So this guy here is going to be your best friend for a couple jobs. We'll need to cut out pigs later. But first we're going to put our piece of white. And I decided I wanted my die kind of near the top of the page, so roughly as centered as you can be. Put that onto your white page here, okay? So I'm doing mine via the computer screen, and then we're putting our plate on top and rolling this through. This one you should only need to roll through once, and that should be good for you. Keep your cut and emboss machine close by, but you don't need it on the desk right now. So what that should have left you with at the moment is your white piece and a circle, and you can now put this circle die away. Okay, our next job, we get to do a little blending. Okay, so I used the blue from our new in color set, the Tahitian Tide, and you'll need a blending brush for this job too, and some scraps. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our, oops, drew on that one. We're gonna grab our bases, and you'll just need one for now. So you can go ahead and fold that on the scored line so it's ready to go. And then we're going to line up this guy kind of almost like a frame. You can see it's got equal borders all the way around. Now, the easiest way I find to do this is to grab a tiny little bit of like masking tape or washi tape or something to hold this all in place. You don't want this shifting on you while you're working. However, you don't want tape up in this area because that's where you're going to be using your brush. So put your tape down in the bottom here. Okay, and if you kind of cover over onto your scrap, whatever you're using, then it will just be held in place for you. You don't need to worry about anything shifting. Okay, so we've got Tahitian Tide for our ink. We have a nice blending brush, and we're just gonna go in a nice circular motion to pick up some of that ink. Once you're happy, you can start in this circle here. Now I like to kind of just tap off on my scraps just in case there's like an ink blob or something weird going on. And then you're just gonna gently start going in circles inside this white circle shape. You'll notice as you go, some of the edgings are gonna start changing to the blue color, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want because we're actually gonna use the edging for the second card. So just go around and around till you're happy with how the color lays out. You can either leave a tiny bit of white in the center, or you can just make it a really light blue as you get there, okay? Up to you. But just add a little bit more color in here. So this shape has made a really great mask for us. But we're going to utilize the mask too. Okay, so move this out of your way for a second. Keep your ink open, and we're going to bring in that circle. Okay, so you don't need to tape this one down. Should be pretty good. We're just going to color the top of the circle with the blue. Okay, so it's almost like a sky look. Nice dark edge, and then really light in the middle. You can either hold this up and kind of brush some of this color onto the edge. That'll make that dark, nice focal point, okay? So only half of this really needs doing, and I know it's so bright for you guys, sorry. But there is a little bit of blue on there. You can make it darker if you want. There we go. Now, here's your choice. You can either leave this all blue, or if you happen to have the color soft suede or even crumb cake, you can make another layer with that. I'm using soft suede, and it'll look kind of like dirt. So this is for Piggy number 3's card. We're just gonna add dirt to the bottom here. Again, nice round circles. Okay, so there we go. You can now close your inks up and get them out of your way. You will need ink later for sentiments, but for the moment, what we should have is a nice blue circle. We should have a nice masked circle with kind of blue shading around the edge. And we now have this piece with the great blue in it. So if you can imagine, this is what we're going to turn this card into. This is what we're going to turn this circle into. And this is what we're going to turn our mask piece into. So it doesn't matter in what order you do this. So one piggy at a time, or you can do all three at the same time. Pardon me. You're going to stamp your piggies just on a scrap of paper. And I'm going to move that just up so you can see. Here we go. So I've done 2 of my piggies, and oh, you lightened really weirdly. There we go. I don't know why he has a weird face. Let's fix that. So here's 2 piggies. I was going to show you how to do the third one, but I have to fix these ones. There we go. That's better. Okay, I just grabbed my Memento Black Ink and stamped all 3 piggies onto a scrap. 1, 2, 3, and then I colored them. So I didn't want you to have to watch me color all 3 of them, but I will give you the colors in the description just in case you want to copy. I made my piggies nice and dark, so I'm doing a dark Flirty Flamingo for my little pigs here. And you're just going to just gently kind of add your colors. I am going to just do 1 color for my pig, and then I'm going to add a little bit of shadow effect with our color lifting pen. But you can always add multiple colors or spots even if you want to. Have a little brown piggy, have mud spots on him, whatever you'd like. So this is the dark Flirty Flamingo. And then for his snout, I'm just going to use the light Flirty Flamingo. And to add a little bit of kind of a shade, take your color lifter and do like a random circle. And as that dries, it'll kind of push a little color out of the way and give him kind of a sun-kissed back for you. So a little gray granite for his hooves. And then the colors for flowers are totally up to you. I'm using Mango Melody for my centers. And then because I've kind of used the same red, which is my sweet sorbet, in all the other sets, I wanted to tie them together. I'm going to do that for these petals as well. But whatever colors you have on hand is just fine. This card is very easy and neutral to work with. There we go. If you're watching, go ahead and say hi. I know sometimes I catch people in their lunch breaks, but you might also be watching the replay, and that's okay. All right, that one, sorry, was the dark Parakeet Party. And then we're going to grab our bronze for the dirt. So everywhere that you see these little notches for the dirt from Stampin' Up, we're just going to add our own layers. A few dots where the dirt dots are. Doesn't have to be perfect, just roughly. There we go. Okay, and there's Piggy number 3. So if you're wondering about any other colors, I did put those all in the list for what I used, like the black, and then I added the Tahitian Tide for the cake here. If you're wondering about any, just let me know. I kind of just had a lot of fun with these. So now we need to cut them. Okay, so grab your cut and emboss machine. If you don't have the dies, here's where life gets a little tricky because you're going to have to cut them by hand. But if you have the dies, life will be good. Okay, so those all down. And I'm just going to stand, sorry. Piggy number 1. And I'm going to use some extra pieces, wherever my masking tape pieces went. There we go. Just to hold these in place, because I did all that work and I do not want them to move on me. Okay, so hold that one. Piggy number 2. As long as you left a little bit of space, you should be able to cut these all in one shot. Okay, Piggy number 2, and then Piggy number 3. There we go. Sorry if I was blocking you guys. And I think I'm going to risk that one. Let's hope it doesn't move. Okay, plate on top. Start rolling these guys through. All right, what we're left with, let me lift all this stuff up, is Piggy number 2. 2. Piggy number 3. Piggy number 1. There we go. So there's your cute little pigs, which are adorable, and I love them. So you can mix and match the pigs for whichever card you wanted, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do the cards with all 3 pigs. Okay, so let's do it one at a time. Here's our circle pig. So that's going to be our little piggy on a bike. I'm going to turn that over and put some dimensionals on the back. And I realized I moved them. There we go. Here's my dimensionals. So pop this guy up completely so that he's coming off of your card. Just like so. And then for the stamping for this one, there are so many sentiments. You can just choose whatever you wanted, but I figured enjoy the ride was kind of perfect, and then I had to use this we in there too. So what I did was, with my Tahitian Tide Ink, I'm going to do the word we just kind of up in the sky here. And they can be as straight or as tilted as you want. And then with the Memento Black, we're adding that main sentiment, enjoy the ride. So that one I do hope I can get straight. There we go. So there's card number 1. I will show these to you once again at the end, but I'm going to move this so we can work on card number 2. So that would be this little circle here. So you do need another one of your card bases. So I can fold that over. And then just with this big circle, we're going to pop that up in the middle of our card base. Okay, so grabbing a few dimensionals for yourself. You can pop this circle up. Make sure your sky is going to the top. And then your little sleeping piggy can get popped up too. I just thought the dirt on the ground kind of suited this little piggy, so. And then this one, I like the sentiment of go to your happy place and stay there all day, because he looks pretty content. So figured that's a great sentiment for this one. We're just using Memento Black, but of course you can use the Tahitian Tide, or you can use anything else you'd like. Okay. So there's card number 2. And then card number 3. Let's do this. That would be our mask, basically the piece of paper that we used as a mask, we're now using as a card. So you've got your 3rd card base. Going to fold that over. And we're going to add this piece now to the front. So put dimensionals in the back here. And you know what, even before I do this, so on your dimensional sheet, you can use all these little pieces, or if you have a pair of scissors, start chopping some of these edge pieces because they're nice and big. They'll fill in this space for you a little nicer than all the edge pieces do, or all the inside ones, okay? So I just sit here and I chop these up because they're all stickers. They're all dimensionals. They're just not pre-cut. Okay, and these guys, they'll take over lots of that space for you. There we go. So you do want to make sure you're kind of supported all the way around that circle. because you don't want it to dip into the middle of the paper. It would look a little odd. All right, and this goes just right in the center of your paper here. There we go. So there's your little shadowed effect. And we're going to add our Piggy. This one I colored with a red balloon because, you know, can play with colors. So I want my Piggy to be on the same level as the circle, but I want the balloon to be supported. So all I'm going to do there is I'm going to stick a dimensional on the back of my balloon, and then just a little piece of adhesive, some double-sided tape or even glue, whatever you prefer, even a glue dot, whatever works for you. You're just going to add that kind of to his little bum and maybe to the cake, the bottom of the cake. That's all. You don't need much more than that. So that when you pop this up, the balloon will kind of float and he can kind of just rest in this circle. Now for your sentiment, again, your choice, whether you use the Tahitian Tide. So I wanted to see what that looked like. And then I'm going to try the black too, just so I have two things to compare. This one says, this little Piggy says, happy birthday. There we go. So you can decide. I kind of actually like the color. I think that stands out quite a bit, but I wanted some samples to show, and people can decide from there what they like. So there you go. Super, super fun and really easy in the cutting regard. Here, we'll just do that and that, so you can see all of them again. And a really fun way to use shapes. If you have squares, you could try that. I think we only have circles and squares. There's triangles too, but that might be a little awkward. But I just thought it was a really fun way for you to use this set. And whether or not you have the dies, you can always just fussy cut these as well. Or you can try stamping them. You know, this pig you could probably stamp straight on here and just color too. But a few ideas for you. Hopefully you enjoyed them. If you are coming to my September monthly club on the 13th or 14th this month, we're going to play with this bundle again for another card. And if you're in Canada, I can also mail those kits to you. So just so you know, they're $15 or free with a $35 order. You get 3 cards. It's always a surprise. And we play with 3 different bundles from current selections. So this is going to be one bundle we play with, and there'll be 2 others. And along with your mailed out kit, you'll get a video tutorial that I have kind of walked you through how to do the projects too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please come back next Tuesday. If you want reminders of when I'm going live, just click that like and subscribe button, and YouTube will notify you every time I've posted a new video. But I'm here every Tuesday at noon. So I look forward to seeing you guys then. And oh, thank you, Sherry. So nice of you to join me. I will see you guys next week. Bye.